Let me show you something worth noticing. You've been lied to about money your entire life. And if you keep believing what they told you, you'll spend the next 40 years trading hours for dollars while watching someone younger, less educated, and frankly less experienced than you build wealth you can't even imagine. Here's what nobody wants you to know. There's an actual formula, not motivation, not luck. A repeatable system that separates people who retire comfortable from people who retire wealthy. And the uncomfortable truth? Most of what's keeping you from it isn't external. It's the operating system running in your head right now. Let me paint you a picture. You probably work a job. Maybe you like it. Maybe you tolerate it. You have expenses that seem to grow faster than your income. There's debt, student loans, credit cards, a car payment. You're doing what you were told. Study hard, get a degree, land a job, work your way up. And yet, the math doesn't add up. The house feels impossible. The retirement account grows painfully slow. Meanwhile, you see 25-year-olds retiring, people with no fancy degrees building empires, and you think, they got lucky. They had connections. The game was rigged in their favor. What if I told you that 68% of people worth over $30 million built that wealth from nothing? No inheritance, no trust fund. They started where you are now, maybe worse. The difference wasn't luck. It was a completely different understanding of how money actually works. But I need to warn you, what I'm about to show you will feel wrong at first. It contradicts everything school taught you, everything your parents probably told you, and applying it will be harder than staying where you are. Most people who hear this will nod along and change nothing. The question is, are you most people? Still here? Then let's dismantle the lie you've been sold. You were taught an equation. Money equals time multiplied by hourly rate. Work more hours, make more money. Seems logical, right? It's also a trap, because time is the one resource you can never replace. It's not renewable. Every hour you trade for money is gone forever. Do the math. $20 an hour, 40 hours a week. That's about $40,000 a year before taxes. To reach $1 million, not adjusted for inflation, not accounting for expenses, you'd need to work nearly 24 years without spending a single dollar. And by the time you get there, that million is worth far less, and you're far older. This is the equation they gave you, and it guarantees you'll never be wealthy. Not actually wealthy. So what's the real equation? Pay attention, because this is where everything changes. In a market economy, you're not paid for how hard you work. You're paid based on the value the market perceives you provide. A janitor works hard, physically exhausting, long hours, but the market sees that job as easily replaceable. An accountant sits at a desk, but saves clients thousands. Higher perceived value, higher pay. It's not about effort. It's about the problem you solve and how badly people need it solved. Now here's where it gets interesting. The wealthiest people don't just solve valuable problems, they solve them at scale. Jeff Bezos didn't work 1 billion times harder than you. Amazon solved $1 billion problem. Convenient shopping, fast delivery, lower prices. One solution, millions of customers. That's the difference. Stop chasing money. Start chasing problems that need solving. I know what you're thinking, so I need to build the next Amazon. I don't know how to code. I don't have startup capital. You're already falling back into old patterns. Listen, you don't need to build a tech empire. You need to listen to what people around you are complaining about. What frustrates them? What do they wish existed? What would they pay to have fixed? The problem you solve doesn't have to change the world. It just has to be real, solvable, and affect enough people that solving it becomes profitable. But here's the critical part most people miss. Your solution must be scalable. If your income is still tied directly to your time, like trading hours for dollars, you've just given yourself another job with a different title. A yoga instructor charging $100 per session is still bound by time. But that same instructor creating an online course that runs 24/7, that's scalable. You build it once, it sells infinitely. This is why businesses beat jobs. This is why ownership beats employment. Your time is the bottleneck in the job equation. Remove that bottleneck, and suddenly the ceiling disappears. And once you've built something scalable, you automate it. Systems and processes. Hire people better than you at specific tasks. Your ego will fight this. Nobody can do it like me. But that's exactly what keeps you small. You can't scale if everything requires your direct involvement. Now, assuming you solve a real problem at scale with systems that don't require you personally to function, two paths emerge. You either keep running the business because it generates passive income, or because you love it, or you sell it. This is the exit, the acquisition. Instagram to Facebook for $1 billion. PayPal to eBay for $1.5 billion, putting $165 million in Elon Musk's pocket. This is where years of building convert into immediate life-changing wealth. But let me ask you something. What was it all for anyway? The money itself is just paper. Numbers on a screen. What you actually wanted, what you've always wanted, was freedom. Freedom to travel without checking your bank account. Freedom to never think, can I afford this? Freedom to spend time how you choose, not how your schedule demands. The real resource you've been protecting this whole time isn't money, it's time. And right now, you're trading it badly. So here's the uncomfortable question. How many more years will you give to the cycle? Wake up, work, come home, sleep, repeat. How much of your finite time will slip away before you decide to solve problems instead of avoid them? Maybe you're okay with that path. Maybe circumstances lock you there for now. That's fine. There's no judgment here. But if you're someone who refuses to let their entire life be dictated by a paycheck, if you want actual freedom, then remember this. The equation isn't about working harder. It's about solving bigger problems for more people in ways that don't require your constant presence. Yes, I skipped complexities, business, wealth building, entrepreneurship. These are vast topics. If you want to go deeper, read M.J. DeMarco's work. Understand that most people who try this will fail initially. That's expected. The key is failing fast, learning, and moving to the next problem. And if you're not ready to start a business yet, apply this thinking to your current job. What problems can you solve that your employer desperately needs fixed? Solve those, and you've just created leverage for a higher salary. But whatever you do, internalize this. Stop chasing money and start chasing problems worth solving. That's the only equation that works. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next.